I just thought I'd do a quick part two. I just spent a couple hours here at Lake James in North Carolina. I'm in a different part of the lake right now. I don't know if you can tell from the part one where I talked about what are the root causes of burnout and how to change that. But I wanted to just say really quick, because I've picked up so many of these. They don't look like crystals, but they are the same structure of crystals, Lemurians. These are just quartz crystals because they have more mineral deposit in them, so they're not clear. But I just wanted to say this area, there's tons of crystals everywhere, right? And that's why I can find them so easily in the lake, on the ground. And whenever you can swim in waters that have crystals like this, they're healing waters, right? Because the crystals, the minerals in the water refortify your body physically. Just even walking, we know from the science called earthing and grounding that you can get healthy from just being 5 minutes barefoot on the earth, dirt or water or sand, right? So, but just walking in this kind of mineral rich water. And these are crystalline waters because there's crystal beds underneath here. So they're incredibly healing for you, especially if you are coming out of a period of heightened stress, physical, emotional, mental stress, or dis-ease, right? Disrepair. You come to places like this for healing. That's part of what we do with the crystal retreats, the one that I lead in Arkansas and even in Sedona as well, because Sedona's got, and Shasta, they've all got, quartz, and they've all got different forms of crystal healing under these mega energy centers, right, where there's vortex energies. And North Carolina's energies are very, I would say, I don't know what the information out there is because I didn't study, but just from tuning in, feminine, because they're very harmonious. There's no conflict. Whereas like Sedona, the energies, they have both masculine vortexes, which spin counterclockwise, and I think that's right, and feminine vortexes, which spin clockwise, right? And so those two conflicting vortex energies in Sedona always make you feel like you're living in the washing machine, right? Because those energies are twisting vortex energy, and if you're not really pure, they can really shake you up. On the other hand, if you're really overly pure, your nervous system will always be out of whack there. So, which I lived there, so I totally get it, right? But the point is, these crystal kinds of waters, and they have them in Sedona, they have them in Mount Shasta, they have them in Arkansas, they have them here, they have them in places in upstate New York. They're where all the ley lines connect, right? All the vortexes and the crystalline consciousness that's underneath the ground connects underground through ley lines, and they communicate energetically, right? This is new paradigm stuff. This isn't 3D stuff. 3D people will think this is whacked and weird. They won't get it. But if you're on an ascension journey, an awakening journey, you get it, right? Because the crystals were embedded here for healing and for helping humans to awaken. And this is why so many people are drawn to these areas, who are people who associate as, light leaders and light workers, change agents, healers, ascension guides, etc. But here's what I also wanted to share, and this came through channeling, because of course I channel a group of like thousands of beings called the Collective, and they share information that's really not stuff you can find in a book anywhere or you can learn about from the physical earthly world. It's new paradigm stuff. And so, as many of you are aware, recently in North Carolina, they were hit by a devastating hurricane, Helene, and that also hit the southern beaches on the west coast of Florida, mostly right around Sarasota, which is also a crystal hub, by the way. Those crystal beaches in Sarasota, they're just the softest sand. It's like just pure white crystal sand. So same ley line, by the way, and goes down into South America. Regardless, a lot of people think that was weather controlled, and you can do the research on weather control, but most light workers have really stopped the weather control. The weather control devices associated with HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, you can research that. But I mean, there's newer technologies that are used for weather control, but the channeling that I've gotten through the Collective, and I thought I would share this, and I mean, you can hear the channelings directly. I have a whole program called the channeling. It's in the DNA Activations membership. You get it included in that. Basically what they said is, these things are not happening because of weather control. Even if on some planes of existence, weather control has an influence, it's not, weather control technologies. It's not because of that at all. It's because Earth is healing and shifting and cleansing and purifying. And she's cleansing and purifying areas that she wants to remain cleansed and purified. And she doesn't want these areas to get so out of balance, out of alignment, because they're hubs for healing for humanity. And a lot of people, when I was living in Sarasota, a lot of people would say, well, Sarasota's a safe zone. And I always knew that that was like an egoic perspective. What do they think safe is? Right? Because safe zones are only, the safe zone physically that's just a misnomer, right? That's a human identification. What it is you cultivate safety within yourself, the energetics associated with safety. But in reality, what's going on is Mother Earth is healing. The Earth overall is shifting energetically. Oh, my dog is making some demands on me, and I'm going to have to go underneath a log to help her, because she got herself tied up into this log here. Oops, you can't see it. When she starts whining and crying for attention, there's nothing I can do but give her the attention she wants. Here she is, you can see. She got herself tethered around this thing here. All right, you're free. Sorry, bad videoing. So those things were not weather control issues. Here's more crystals, tons of them everywhere. They weren't because of weather control. They're because Earth is healing and ascending and moving and shifting. And that's also related to the solar flares too, because we're moving and shifting in the galaxy. And as Earth is healing, we're having to adapt. And as Earth is moving into a new space in the galaxy where we're more united with the other star family races that have known that we've existed, many of whom are here to help. Not all of them are here to help. Some of them are here to just siphon resources and be tricksters, right? And use whatever they can, right? Mercenary. But regardless, they hang out. A lot of them hang out around these crystal beds too, because there's so many resources in the earth. There was one point on the beach over there where there was all, I wish I could have shown you, like gold flecks. All gold flecks, like little flecks of gold. And yeah, it could have been mica, because there's a lot of mica here. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's gold. I don't know. If there was, they'd probably know. But so that was another reason why a lot of people who are into conspiracy-related matters thought that this was all orchestrated, because there's a lot of mines around here that don't want people living here. They want to be able to mine. And while there may be some truth to that, that's not the highest truth. So just remember, when you're navigating this new paradigm reality about shifting from old, where things are all about greed and domination and control and manipulation and secrecy and coercion and fear-based reality, as you shift into higher frequencies, what you do have to navigate, part of that is discernment and divine truth. And just because some conspiracy person might have part of the picture or some of the picture, or might jump to conclusions based on other information they know, that doesn't make it absolutely true. Make sure you're searching for truth, divine truth, because, like I said, what the collective shared with me, and I feel very confident in what I get from the collective. I mean, it's been pretty accurate. Lots of times it's been accurate when other things weren't. What I've gotten from them, in terms of their sharing, is that Earth is healing and humanity is shifting. We're shifting. And that some of these weather storms, they're not necessarily created, especially like the ones in LA. And I don't mean to get to a touchy topic, and that's not crystalline ley lines there. But, a lot of people thought that was part of it. But why would they do that to like the richest areas? And even if you have a reason why, just the point of this message isn't to debate or argue about that. It's to ask you to be discerning, because Mother Earth is healing. And not only is she healing, and she's asking us to heal and shift with her, she's providing opportunities for us, as is the higher realm, because nothing is happening that the higher realms are not allowing, that don't somehow serve the agenda of the light, which is for the expansion and evolution of consciousness and the expansion and evolution of humanity's consciousness. So nothing's happening unless it's approved, in a sense, and allowed through and by the agenda of the light. And that means it's going to somehow serve the greater good in terms of the evolution and the expansion of consciousness. And a huge part of that is evolving and helping humans to become more heart-centered. Well, how do they become more heart-centered? When stuff like this happens. Like these fallen trees are most likely, I don't know for a fact, but I think these are most likely because of Hurricane Helene. I'm not far from where it hit. I don't know how much it hit here, but even these, so you can see the dips in the water line. I didn't ask anyone, so I could be wrong. This could be part of the natural, but even along the, I don't know if you can see it over there, but there's really big dips. So when the water line rises and then dips, you can see those these peaks where there's just these big breaks, right? I mean, you don't have to be a geologist to get that, right? So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, make sure you're asking for divine truth and using and developing your discernment. If you don't know what discernment is, it's not skepticism. It's a big difference from skepticism. And it's not cynicism. And it's not doubt. Those are different energies altogether. Divine discernment is the willingness to be open and to consider and to not negate something immediately, one way or the other, and to not be easily swayed one way or the other. It's to have an open mind and to consider all the possibilities, all the potentials, and hopefully, ideally, always, ultimately tap into divine truth. That's what I do. That's what I bring through. That's how I help people. Because when you have divine truth, then it's not coming from the brain. It's totally different. It's beyond the brain. It's higher consciousness. Sorry, I'm picking up a lot of these. Right? Higher consciousness knows truth. And truth is truth regardless of whether it's someone's perspective or not. So you see, in the new paradigm reality, we start realizing like our perspective is truth. That's true. But truth is truth regardless of whether or not you believe it. Absolute truth is absolutely true. So that's why when we're working with divine discernment, we start developing our capacity to align with God's truth, even if it doesn't match our human brain's perspective and what we believe or perceive to be true. Because this is beyond the brain. Divine truth is beyond the brain. It's God's truth. And it's not easy to get to that for the average person, but the more and more you're playing in the higher realms, the more and more you're interacting in a space energetically that lifts you up and elevates you and expands your consciousness, the more and more you're in the higher frequencies, which you can learn how to do. Everybody can learn this. This is what I teach. The more it is easier and easier to develop your capacity to know divine truth, which also further develops your capacity to have divine certainty. A whole nother conversation. All right, I hope this has been helpful. Look how beautiful. I'm sending you all love from this beautiful Lake James and hoping you're having a magnificent day wherever you are. All right, farewell from me and Emma. Bye-bye.